You know, it looks like we have enough chairs that our staff is standing in the back and sit down if they want. So good morning and welcome to Monterey. This is the 12-hour aftermath of the most gorgeous sunset you've ever seen last night. I'm Dave Pearson. I'm the current president of the NCGA. And on behalf of the board of directors and the staff, I would like to welcome you to Poppy Hills Golf Course and officially call our meeting to order. I want to welcome and thank all of the club delegates that came. You're our representatives to the golfing community in Northern California. And we want to thank you so much for your contributions to your golf course and to golf itself. And thank you for coming this morning. Your support is greatly appreciated. At this time, I also have the privilege of introducing some guests in attendance. First, our past presidents, men and women with a wealth of knowledge that we are glad they stick around and keep us on the right track. So we have Lee Gidney, Chuck Hilo, there's Chuck, okay. I don't think you wanted to make it. Bob Moore, Gail Rogers, Chuck Van Lane, and Mike Weeks. So the NCGA is largely successful due to the relationships we have with our industry partners. There are a number of initiatives that we're working on in order to gather together to further the game of golf and add value to your membership as an NCGA member. And we want to promote the enjoyment of the game of golf. And so today I would like to welcome right now to the podium Mike Sweeney, U.S. Director of Regional Affairs, USGA Director for Regional Affairs. And Mike's going to share with us a little bit about what's going on with the USGA. Mike, oh, there it is.
Thank you, David. How many of you turned on the Golf Channel this morning? You're aware of some of the news we're making today. But yeah, the USGA is making some news today along with our partners, the RNA. Today we publicly announced the final outcomes of our distance project. And today's news is a result of a 6-year process of extensive research, evaluation of numerous options, and stakeholder feedback across the industry. We followed a deliberate, transparent, and inclusive process and have listened throughout each step. And over the past few months, we've heard 3 consistent messages from the golf industry. 1, unification is important, having the same playing rules and equipment rules for all golfers. 2, minimize the impact on the recreational game. And 3, provide the industry with enough time to adjust to any changes. So as of this morning, Mike Juan and Martin Slumbers were on the Golf Channel announcing 2 important changes to equipment standards that are going to go into effect. One major one that's going to go into effect in 2028, where we are implementing an across-the-game change to the speed used to test golf balls beginning in January 2028. So what does that mean for the elite, fastest swinging golfers on the PGA Tour? They're probably going to see 13 to 15 yards less with their driver. What does that mean for the recreational golfer? Well, we want to have minimal impact on the recreational golfer. Depending on your swing speed, you're going to see 0 to 5 yards difference on your driver and have no impact on your iron game throughout your irons. And a third of the golf balls on the market today are actually going to be conforming in 2028. So we really did emphasize trying to have a minimal impact while trying to have a significant, stronger impact at the elite level. Did talk to Randy Haig about this today, and he happily said he'll be retired by the year 2028, so it's not going to affect him. Maybe. The second, we plan to expand our testing approach to better detect driver creep, which can result in your driver exceeding the limits of the rules after reconforming. So those are the two major things that we announced today. Go home, watch Golf Channel when you get home. You'll see Mike Wan and Martin Slumbers discussing those changes. You also see Thomas Pagel from the USGA discussing those changes. It's been a long, challenging process to get here, but we feel like we have come to a decision that is, once again, in the best interest of the long-term health of the game. And really, Mike Wan is probably the perfect leader for the USGA to lead us through the next few years, especially with what we announced today. Mike has worked for TaylorMade. Mike has been a commissioner. So he's been on those sides of the industry, and now he's the CEO of the USGA and a great leader for us. And 2 years ago when Mike started, he asked probably about 30 USGA staff members, give me your elevator pitch on what the USGA means to you. And when he started, he probably got 30 different versions of, well, the USGA runs the US Open, and we write and administer the rules of golf. But the USGA does so much more than that. And Mike, being really the brand guru that he is, we got to do a better job of explaining what we do. And he did that through utilizing the acronym USGA. We want you to think of USGA and how we want you to have a stronger connection and understanding what we do, and how we want you to help explain what the USGA does to your friends at the club level. We want you to think of unify, showcase, govern, and advance. And you'll see that messaging used by Mike Wan and our USGA staff and our volunteers pretty consistently now. And those are now our 4 strategic pillars that we want to work with the NCGA on. Our purpose is to unify the golf community, to showcase the golfers who inspire us, to govern the sport without bias, to assure a solid foundation, and to advance the good of the game for the next 10, 20, 50, 100 years and beyond. And we cannot do any of those things without the support of the NCGA board, NCGA staff, and your NCGA volunteers. You are doing so much more work for us, supporting what we do, but also doing so much more for your clubs and golfers. We are excited to have 3.03 million golfers in the U.S. with the handicap index. That's a high mark in the history of folks that have a handicap index. That's 4% up year over year over last year. And that includes over 5,100 new NCGA members that have signed up over the last 2 years through the USGA website to become a member of the NCGA. The USGA is a 128-year-old organization, but it took until last year for us to really start working closely with the NCGA and the LA Golf Association community to try to grow the number of golfers with the handicap index. And we're proud to continue to do that going forward. So look forward to us continuing to try to promote and grow the number of golfers that want to engage with you all and get a handicap index. Thanks to the NCGA, they're one of the most engaged and supportive golf associations that the USGA works with. And we look forward to doing even more with Joe and his team in 2024 to continue to enhance the golfer experience, continue to build trusted relationships with our industry partners, and continue to focus on operational and excellence internally with our staffing and volunteer networks. The S in USGA, Showcase. From a championships and showcase perspective, 2023 was a historic and record-setting year for us. We had a record number of entries in 9 of our 15 national championships. Over 47,900 entries into our championships last year, or this year, and that was a 9% increase year over year. It was historic, and now we had the first ever Women's Open right here in your backyard at Pebble Beach with over 1,400 volunteers, many of them NCGA members. I see a few in this room. We had over 44,000 spectators, again, many of them NCGA members, and 1 first-time champion with Allison Corpus. Special thanks to the Beach Company and everybody that helped make that championship so memorable. And thank you to the NCGA staff and volunteers that administer 32 USGA qualifiers in the region. And to the clubs that host those qualifiers. For the majority of the participants in those qualifiers, their national championship experience, their US Open is playing in that qualifier. So we appreciate the attention to detail that you all provide to making that qualifying experience so exceptional. Exciting announcements for 2024. We want to use NCGA events and your California State Amateur events as a pathway to earn exemptions to the USGA National Championships. So we have some new exemptions that are coming next year for the Women's Amateur, the US Amateur, the Junior, and the Girls Junior. So next year's US Women's Amateur will be at Southern Hills in Oklahoma. Your California Women's Amateur Champion, which will be at Peninsula Golf and Country Club, and your Women's Amateur Champion, which will be at Poppy Hills. You're going to crown those champions, give them their trophies, and also give them a golden ticket to represent the NCGA at their national championship. Same with the US Amateur. Next year's California State Amateur is going to be in Southern California at Sherwood. You're going to crown a champion, and they're going to be able to go represent the NCGA or SCGA at the US Amateur K15. And because of the timing of your NCGA Amateur in August, that champion is going to be exempt into the 2025 US Amateur Championship, which is going to be at Olympic Club in San Francisco. So we're excited. You're going to crown a champion and say next year you're going to represent us in San Francisco at Olympic Club. And then lastly, we have an exemption for the US Girls Junior Champion, the US Girls Junior Championship, which is in Southern California next year. Your QUAC State Junior Girls Championship at NPCC, that winner, you're going to crown a champion and then say you're going to go represent us at the US Girls Junior. So we're really excited to start using your championships as a pathway to earn exemptions to the national championship. And this is probably the first step in going in this direction in future years with the seniors and the mid-amateurs and the four balls as well. The GA and USGA govern. So we talked about the governance side of things with making the decision on distance today. On January 1st, we also have updates coming to the World Handicap System as part of our normal revision cycle. And I've already seen Jim Cowan and the team having communications on your website, in your magazine, through your communication vehicles on those changes that are coming. Any handicap chairs in the room? Do you see a few hands go up? Thank you to the handicap chairs for all the work that you do at the club level. We're going to be educating you all on those changes that are coming. I think the good part is just continue to tell your golfers to utilize the GIN app for score posting, and especially hole-by-hole posting. All the changes that are taking place, they're going to be factored into utilizing hole-by-hole posting. Two of the changes that I'm most excited about is that 9-hole score posting is being updated and changing so that when you post a 9-hole score, it goes instantly to reflect a new revision to your handicap. And also short courses are coming on to the rating system now. So when you play par 3 courses and shorter courses that are 750 yards or longer, you're going to be able to post those scores after playing, and they go instantly to your handicap revision. And then lastly, advancing the game, the A and USGA. We want this game and your golf facilities and courses to be healthy and sustainable long into the future. Our water initiative is a commitment to helping golf courses use less water and helping golf as a whole be an exemplary industry for the conservation and responsible use of water. We are currently developing a playbook to help educate superintendents, golf course owners, and golf course decision makers on this critical effort. We're also creating a reference and guidelines to assist in decision making and implementing best practices. We plan to have those available to golf courses in the spring of 2024. We have some major challenges going on with golf courses in Las Vegas, in the Phoenix area, in the Palm Desert area, Southern California. We've got some wetness coming down today, but we're going to have those challenges going forward with the what's going on with the Colorado River. So it's going to be an important initiative that we are going to continue to keep the NCGA in the loop on as water challenges potentially come up again in Northern California. In closing, we had a great 2023 for the USGA and a great 2023 working with the NCGA, and we look forward to an even better 2024 as we continue to work closely with you on our shared customers of golfers, golf courses, your golf facilities, and your local golf communities. Thank you.
As Mike is getting himself seated, I'll put in a plug for Jim Cowan right now. Those of you that come from courses that may have family tees, if those family tees on 18 holes total more than 1,500 yards, please let Jim know, because we don't really have a record of those yet. And so the more information we get, the faster you can get those tees where people can start posting handicaps to those. So, little plug for Jim. Next order of business is The roll call, unless a quorum can be determined to be present by our Secretary Treasurer, Kevin Payton.
We have a quorum present in person and by proxy.
Okay, thank you. So with that, with the quorum being present, then we're authorized to conduct business for the association. First item of business is the reading of the minutes of the 2022 annual meeting, which will now occur unless there is a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes. And a second? Okay, good. There was one in there. There is a second on that. So all those in favor, would you please say aye? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. So with that motion passing, we will now approve the minutes and ratify the actions of the 2022 annual meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes? And a second? Thank you. So that is all those in favor of approving those minutes, please say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Okay, thank you. So the motion passes and our minutes are now approved. So at this time, I'd like Joe Houston to come up. Joe's down at the end there.
Thank you, David. My name is Joe Houston. I'm the CEO of the NCGA. And at first, I wanted to start and just recognize and thank our president, David Pearson. He has been an outstanding leader, an outstanding president of the board in our association over the last year. There's been times throughout every year I reach out to the board, I reach out to the president and ask for some advice and kind of work through a problem. And when I've gone to David, we talked through a problem several months ago, and we got to the end, and he said, Joe, there's two things I think about. One, what is right for the game of golf, and what is best for our members. It was great advice. We made a good decision. A month later, I called him. We had to work through something again, and again, he wrapped it up. What's right for the game, and what's right for our members. Very good decision. A month later, I had something I had to work through, and I kind of thought about it on my own. Like, okay, we got it. What's right for the game of golf, and what's right for our members. But I think that's a great approach, and it's not just David. It's really our whole board that will think that way, and it's our entire staff and our organization and our volunteers that really take that approach, which I think makes this organization great. So I want to spend just a little bit of time just to share the status of the NCGA. I'll also comment about our two golf courses, which we run through our organization called Pot and Holding. The chair of our board, John Dosworth, is out traveling. He's not able to be with us, and he asked me just to share some updates with that as well. So we'll give them both updates today. The thing that started is that we have a vision for the organization is that for us to ensure that the game of golf is vibrant, inclusive, and accessible. So that's a big vision, and we've talked about how do we get there. We have a really good strategic plan we've been executing against. But if I really kind of summarize it and simplify that, I think about GPS. And it's a term. When we don't know exactly where we're going, we use GPS. So I know where we're going. When I come into work, I probably do it in my sleep. Some of you that have driven here, not as familiar, you'll use your GPS. But for us, GPS is about growth, participation, and satisfaction. And those three terms are what's really, when we focus on that, that's our way to enable us to achieve that vision. And so a few comments on that. You've seen up on the screen some of the NCGA by the numbers. Some of those figures are up here. But when you think about growth, on our membership, we have surpassed 200,000 members, very close to 220,000 memberships in the NCGA. That's up over 50% versus where we were about 9 years ago. The rounds at our golf courses continue to grow. We've had a big growth in our rounds and a great performance, and it's really a showcase of the outstanding properties we have and the execution we have with our team and operations. And it does lead to that our revenue is really strong for the association. We're at the highest point we've had in history for a combined organization. On the participation side, this is really important. We want more of our members to be taking advantage of our benefits, whether it's playing in tournaments and championships, or our outings, or taking trips, or taking access to the benefits that we have in discounts in golf. And we have seen this last year and the last several years, we are growing our participation rate faster than our membership rate, which is really important to us. In fact, one of the figures is 91% of all of the events that we have for registrations, 91%, they're billed at 91% capacity. Some of them sell out with wait lists, and others are pretty close. And a lot of that has also been driven by we've expanded formats. We've expanded things that are popular, like the couples events. We have mixed team events that we've expanded out in the last year. We've expanded match play, kind of decentralized match play approach. We've really been pushing and expanding some of our team-based, club-based events, and that helps really drive participation and engagement from our members. And then last on the S, the satisfaction, we put a big emphasis on measuring how satisfied are our members. And not just measuring the number, but that helps give us insight into what we can do better. We're really proud that our satisfaction levels are high, and when we look at it on a national ranking, there was a survey recently from the USGA, we're very high up in that ranking, but yet we're not satisfied. We know we can do better. And that leads us to some of the exciting things. I also want to recognize Gary Fox. He's our immediate past president. He's not here with us today, but he's been a really good driver about don't be satisfied. What can you do better? Keep focusing on growth. What can you do better for the golf courses? And so on that front, we're very excited to be announcing plans that we rolled out last year at the annual meeting, but to start a major redesign and renovation at Poppy Ridge, our other property. A lot of work has been going into it. We have a fantastic team that's leading that project. We have a really good board with the Poppy Holding Board that oversees the project. And there'll be more details that will be unveiled. We're very close on getting final approvals with all of the permits within the next month and a half. But you're going to start to see work being done on that property. And a good thing with that is that with the size of the property in 27 holes, we can manage the renovation and the redesign of that property by always keeping some golf open for our members. So that's really important to us. But as a result, it'll be a multi-year and a half project. We're going to have an outstanding 18-hole championship golf course that won't just challenge and one of the best championship golf courses, it'll also be very enjoyable for players that don't hit the ball as far. We have an outstanding architect, Jay Palazzi, that has designed the course to be very friendly for beginners and less skilled players, but also very challenging when you go back to the back tees. And on that property, we're going to have 9 holes that will be shorter, more for development. It would be a more of not so much an executive course, but kind of family friendly, and it'll be really good. So we're going to see that property is going to really appeal to more of our members, from the championship elite players to people that just want to play a short, quick 9. So more to come on that, but that'll be a lot of work that will be started in the late spring of next year. And then last, I'd like just to recognize as well our volunteers. We have a volunteer team of over 300 tournament officials and course raters. We have a volunteer board. We have an outstanding staff on our NCGA association led by Ryan Gregg, our Chief Operating Officer, and then our golf courses led by Steve Schrader, our Chief Operating Officer over both of the properties, and Anna Fitzgerald that keeps it all tied together, who's our Chief Financial Officer. But I also want to thank everybody that's here. Many of our club leaders, your volunteers, you give up your time, our best players that are here that support the NCGA and the game, and with Mike here with the USGA and other industry representatives. I really believe that together we are better for golf when we work together, and when we work together, our best is yet to come. So thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Adam Hike, the CEO of Youth on Course. Adam.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you to the NCGA board, all of you here today. You know, I was coming into work today and just thinking about the date and how long Youth on Course has been around. It was created to give kids access to the sport, right? Subsidizing rounds of golf for $5 or less at many of the clubs that you represent. And I happened to look at the calendar today, and the initial gift to start Youth on Course was made exactly 20 years ago today. I had no idea that was actually true until I started looking at some things this morning. But reflecting on that, it's pretty interesting, right? There are 33,000 Youth on Course members in Northern California. They play golf in 190 public facilities for $5. Right? Like, you think about that, and you think about the cost of youth sports, baseball and basketball. You all have kids or grandkids or family members that play other things, and golf, I think, for so many families has been that thing. It's like, yeah, that's interesting, but it may not be for us. And I think what the NCGA has done over the last 20 years is lead by example, right? Let's take cost out of that equation, right? If you want to go play golf, and do it for a couple bucks, and do it with your mom or your dad or your friend or your grandfather, your grandmother, right? Like changing that narrative, I think has never been so important as it is now, and it's starting to pay off, right? Joe just mentioned 220,000 NCGA members. I mean, you guys represent those clubs. You represent a decision to be engaged in golf, and the communities within the clubs, communities at the golf courses are what is kind of fuel the game. And I mean, I'm here to say thank you. Certainly thank you to this group, but thank you to all of you, right? Introduce the kid to golf. Let them go play, sign them up for youth on course. We're here to help, and I'm here to say thank you. So on behalf of 190,000 kids nationally and 33,000 here, thanks for all you do to support golf. Thanks for all you do to support youth on course. And with that, invite Lance Parker up, Chair of the Finance Committee.
Slowly and carefully.
Good morning. I'm Lance Parker, Chair of the Finance Committee, and I am tasked with reporting on the finances, and I have to go through the spreadsheet, which should take at least another 45 to 60 minutes, so please hang on. No, the NCGA has engaged the accounting services of BBM, and they provide audits for not only the association, Poppy Holdings, as well as Youth on Course. And through their representatives, they completed the 2022 audit, and they have shown that all three associations are compliant with normal accounting principles, and the audit and Finance Committee has reviewed those audits. With that, I am pleased to announce that the association is deemed to be in sound financial condition, and we should exceed our 2023 budgets by the end of the year. Thank you. And with that, Mr. Dave Pearson, sitting in for Gary Fox, who is our chair of the nominating committee, and Dave will be presenting the directors who will serve on the board for 2024.
Thank you, Lance. One other thing before that too, and my wife's going to get after me because I have the tendency to put things in, but I wanted to mention after Adam's deal that another thing that is starting up is the idea of taking care of our golfers who are over 18 but not yet in a financial position to do it. And so there is now work on what's called the Youth on Course alumni, those people who graduated up to another level, and still a break for them on some of these golf courses. So another good thing going on with the foundation. If the directors would please stand and remain standing as I announce your name. The nominated slate of directors is Ed Quinn, Kevin Payton, David Pearson, Bill Carl, Dana Kerrigan, Erica Karate, Branche Jones, April Kenyon, Bob Miller, Lance Parker, Preston Pinckney, Greg Ryan, Carl Rutherford, Bill Self, Kathy Stroh, Tyler Tharp, Michael Braun, who's somewhere near Antarctica right now, Michael Smith, and our two new directors coming on this year, Craig Oliver and Mike Woods. Thank you all. You can be seated. So is there a motion to accept the 2024 slate of directors? And a second? So all those in favor say aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. So now we would like to recognize our players of the year. So please welcome Carl Rutherford, the chairperson for our golf committee, and Ryan Gregg, the NCGA CEO.
It's with a great deal of pleasure and respect for their level of performance this year that I get to announce the winners of our Player of the Year awards. First of all, the NCGA Men's Player of the Year, Bobby Busey. Bobby continued his ascent up the NCGA history charts, earning his 7th NCGA title to move into a tie for 4th on the all-time. Wins during the season came at the NCGA Amateur, the NCGA Mid-Amateur 4-Ball with pal Brett Bebach and Concord City. Overall, he finished in the top 3 in 10 out of his 14 starts to finish the season with 1,526 points. Congratulations, Bobby.
Hi guys, I'm Bobby Busey, and I'm probably more nervous standing up here than any championship Sunday first tee out there. So just bear with me as I go through this. But thank you all for being here. Thank you to the board and the volunteers for all you guys do and for being here. As golfers, we all know how difficult it is to win. With some field sizes over 150 players, the harsh reality is that we lose far more than we win. Today I stand up here a winner, and I'm extremely proud in this moment. Ooh, sorry. In order to stand up here with this trophy, it has taken me hours and hours of practice, countless repetitions, and literal blood, sweat, and tears. It has also taken important individuals in my life that I would not be here without. Sorry. First and foremost, my parents. You guys have sacrificed so much for me to be here. And you've always supported my decisions and have always believed in me. You've encouraged me along the way through the good and the bad. The thing I'm most grateful for is how you're always proud of me, no matter where I finish on the leaderboard. To have you present to witness so many of my tournaments is something I'll forever cherish. I love you guys. So everyone, my girlfriend Catherine, you've been my rock, my biggest fan. You're someone that I can count on 100% of the time, no matter the situation. You've lifted me up and brought me a new level of confidence out of me that I didn't know I had. You always support me and understand. You're so understanding of my passion. Even when it means hours and hours of preparation and countless practice swings in the kitchen. I love you. My good friend Brett, back there as well, supported me today. Golf wouldn't be anywhere near as fun without you, buddy. You've pushed me more than you know. You've helped me become a more complete player. You've helped me to truly believe in myself, and even more than that, you're the greatest friend I could ask for off the golf course. I'm honored to have shared so many great memories and victories with you. I know the best is still yet to come, and it's pretty awesome and darn cool that we're sharing our names on that trophy together now. Lastly, to all the NCGA staff and volunteers and board members, to get to know you on a personal level over the past years has been awesome. I really appreciate all that you guys do for us. There would be no tournaments and anything like that without you guys. The positive impact that NCGA has had on my life is something I'll forever be thankful for. And thank you guys all.
Okay, next is our NCGA Women's Player of the Year, Lauren Gebhauer. She is not in attendance unless she surprised us. But despite all the practicing as a dermatological surgeon and being a mom to a 1-year-old, Lauren won Player of the Year honors with 875 points. She had wins at the WGA NC Legacy Stroke Play Championship and the PWGA Legacy Open, and not only qualified for the U.S. Women's Mid-Amateur for the 3rd time, but made it to the round of 16. A great season. Congratulations, Lauren. And now the NCGA Senior Player of the Year, Mr. Randy Haig. Already an NCGA Hall of Famer, Randy keeps adding more to the record books. He's been around since well before I started even volunteering. The next closest competitor was over 1,000 points behind. Wins came, among other events, the 2022 California Senior Amateur, the San Francisco City Senior, the Alameda Commuters Senior, and the NCGA Senior Match Play Championship, all at the age of 64. Congratulations, Randy.
Well, like Bobby, you know, it's this can be nerve-wracking because it means so much to us to be up here in front of all of you. I can't believe this is my 10th time over 4 decades I've been Player of the Year, and to have done it in a year that you know, I had challenges, some physical ailments, and end up being not only SCGA Player of the Year but NCGA Player of the Year in the same year is something beyond imaginable for me. To me, what golf is all about resides in this room. I have 3 of the greatest friends that anybody could ever possibly have in their life. I've got a gentleman here who's been a mentor and a friend of mine for 40 years. He's here today. I got my 2 best friends, Alan and Brad Fredrickson, who, you know, make my life better every day. To know that I've got friends that are true friends that have my back. We have golf as a common thread and a common bond that we share. Quick little fun story about Brad here. Brad, stand up, show everybody your body. Come on. No, Brad's always been an athlete, but you know, I said, you know, Brad, I'm really going to focus on the U.S. Senior Amateur this year. It's in my backyard. I know the golf course. And he goes, all right, let's do this. I'll caddy for you. What Brad didn't know is that we got a cart, but he couldn't sit in it. And anybody that's played Marta's Camp knows that you've got these big hills come down, and Alan showed up one day and Brad is running, he's got the towel. He gets to me, you know, he's huffing and puffing. I go, come on, give me the yardage gun. Out loud. He's going, I go, all right, well maybe it was not quite that loud, but it was pretty bad. Anyway, the poor guy, every day they were running up and down those hills. It was such a memorable occasion to have an experience like that where, you know, I came in second in the qualifier to make match play. I realized, probably not incorrectly, but I should not have realized that I had won 12 match play events, rounds, to the point of my 13th one, which ended up not being very lucky. In the round of 16 at Marta's Camp, I was 3 up after 4 holes and 2 up with 3 holes to go. And as we all know, match play is very difficult, and you never have the match in hand until you're shaking the guy's hand. It probably is the most memorable year that I've had over the last 4 decades. And, you know, it's the people that, you know, the volunteers, the people in this room that I've known for many decades, you guys that dedicate your time. Joe, your team with Ryan, what you guys do to let us players play championship golf on great venues and compete against incredible players like Bobby Busey and Joey Ferrari. I've known these guys, they're incredible champions and very rewarding of the Player of the Year awards they're getting today. I don't know if this is the last time I'll ever be up here, and I might be taking more than my 3 minutes, so I apologize for that. But I just want everybody to really know how heartfelt and important this organization is to represent the NCGA for over 40 years now and compete in our team events and to see friends out there in the fog, you know, looking for our balls, and Lee here teeing us off, you know, recently in the tournaments, you know, giving their time, you know, to make our lives better and give us an opportunity to play in these great events. So I love you all. This is a great honor, and I'm so appreciative to be up here in front of you. Thank you so much.
Okay, next is the NCGA Senior Women's Player of the Year Award going to Karen Garcia. Karen is the winner of the 2015 U.S. Senior Women's Amateur, now has an NCGA Player of the Year title, winning with 1,195 points. Recently retired, she won the PWGA Legacy Senior and posted runner-up finishes at the PWGA Legacy Open and the NCGA Senior Women's Amateur. Overall, she finished in the top 5 in 7 of her 9 starts. Congratulations, Karen.
This is the most stressful thing I think. I've talked before school boards, before my school, community, but wow. So, helping golfers enjoy golf more. That's on the NCGA website right now. And I am so appreciative of the board, of the volunteers, of the staff for giving us the opportunity to compete. I knew I was retiring this year after 37 years in education. And I set a goal to make sure I made the Cal-Am Cup matches next week in La Quinta. And then also to try and win this award. It's funny, I won in Nashville the USGA, and someone said, "Hey, you're the top, you're in the lead right now for Player of the Year." And I'm like, "Well, that's great." But I have a limited tournament window during school years, and so I wasn't able to win. County crushed me. So we play together weekly. We belong to the same course. We are our biggest cheerleaders. But I really wanted to make sure that I played enough events. So I played in open events, I played in senior events, I played in mid-am events to try and do both. And I get to go to La Quinta next week and play, and I'm here before you. So I'm so appreciative. Couldn't do this without my super caddy and husband Ruben on the bag, though sometimes not in all of these events. And I'm also appreciative of the NCGA for the chance not only to compete, but to volunteer. I've been a club handicapper, I've been a high school golf coach, and I look forward now in my retirement to doing so many more things. I joined my greens committee. I help with junior golf at my course and our Operation 36. And I also interviewed with Mike Woods this spring. I took a week off and started mentoring at our program at Hagen Oaks, mentoring 9-hole women's golf group. It was highlighted in the NCGA magazine this summer, and it's an amazing program. Once a week, I'm going out when I'm not playing in tournaments and traveling, and walking with brand new golfers on the golf course at a tee length that's appropriate for their game, and helping them make the transition from new to golf to playing golf. And I look forward to that every week. Also submitted an application to be a course rater, hoping that I get an interview. And I look forward for more challenges and things that I can do to help. I've got the NCGA rules seminar in February. I get to go to it this year now that I'm retired at Northridge, and I'll just look for ways to help grow the game and helping golfers enjoy golf more. Thank you.
Okay, and finally, but not the least important of which, the NCGA Super Senior Player of the Year, Joey Ferrari. 31 years after earning NCGA Player of the Year honors, Joey has another title. He'd win Super Senior Player of the Year honors by finishing the season with 1,593 points. Along the way, he'd win the Antioch City Best Ball, the Stockton City Four Ball, the NCGA Senior Four Ball. Other highlights include runner-up finishes at the Sacramento County and the Sacramento City Super Seniors, and a tie for third at the NCGA Senior Valley Amateur. Congratulations, Joey.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm honored to be standing before you today. It's been 31 years since I won a Player of the Year award. It was an honor then, as it is now. However, this one has a little bit more meaning to it. As you know, I went through a little hiccup in life. That hiccup taught me a lot about life and friendships. Coming back to golf was not easy, and I had to prove myself that I could compete again on a high level, and it has not been an easy journey. Put a lot of work and effort to become the Player of the Year in and off the golf course. It's something that I had to do to prove to myself, and I did. It was important for me to earn my integrity, respect, and self-respect from my fellow competitors, my friends, and my family. I've had a lot of support from everyone, and I can't thank them enough. I truly appreciate the friendships that I've made throughout the years. This one's very special. I would like to thank the NCGA, Joe Houston, right, for all your support and everything the NCGA does for us players in amateur golf. Again, thank you, because this award means more to me than anybody will know. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and let's give one more round of applause for all of our players here. And now I'll turn the program back over to our NCGA President, Dave Pearson.
Can't see close. Well, the year is coming to an end for us. I'm going to put something in that Jerry had to take out of my article because I got too wordy, but the old adage that time flies when you're having fun is really true. This is the completion of 22 years as a volunteer for the NCGA, and it's gone through very quickly, and hopefully it's going to continue for many years still to come. This last year has been like the blink of an eye. It just seems like it was yesterday that I was at the AT&T getting a chance to play as the president of the NCGA. As you've been hearing today, the NCGA is really strong in all respects. Our member programs and benefits are continuing to grow. The scheduled redo at Poppy Ridge is really exciting, and I personally am really looking forward to the likelihood that we're going to get to have our annual meeting in 2025 up there to see that course. On paper it looks great, and I know it's going to be wonderful. The success of the NCGA is a combination of efforts of a skilled and tireless staff. There's none better. An involved board of directors who are all dedicated people to the game of golf. A dedicated and passionate group of tournament and legacy event and course rating volunteers, and the 217,000 members that we have in the NCGA. But I want to thank all of you for allowing me to be the 2023 president. And it's been an honor and experience that I will always treasure. But now it's time to pass the gavel. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you the new president of the NCGA for 2024, Ed Quinn.
Thank you, David, very much. I have to say, as I was sitting there listening to the Players of the Year, it occurred to me that the reason I'm less nervous coming up here to talk than I would be on the first tee is probably the same reason I'm not Player of the Year and have no chance of being Player of the Year. But congratulations to all of you, and job well done, awesome achievements. I wanted to start by saying a few things that I'm afraid if I don't say it at the beginning, I'll forget. One is to sort of correct and amend comments from a couple of our colleagues here. Adam, I start with, was far too brief and too modest about the achievements of the organization that he leads, Youth on Course. It's our foundation and the jewel in many ways of the NCGA, and one of the jewels of golf in general. It's almost incredible in its scope, in the depth of the effort that people put in, both on the staff and board and volunteers, not just here but across the country, and no exaggeration to say across the world, to bring golf opportunities to kids that wouldn't otherwise have them. And Adam was brief and to the point, but we need to recognize just how great that's been. If anyone has time, when the time comes during the year to attend the scholarship awards for the Youth on Course program, which gets a little less attention than the rounds played, that is quite an amazing event every year. The kids are phenomenal. So, and also, with our own organizations here in this building, we've got Steve back there, Steve Schrader and his group, as well as his phenomenal board, taking care of the two golf courses in the Poppy Holdings organization. Joe's staff and the board run by David Pearson this year at the NCGA itself are absolutely amazing, and from top to bottom, one of the best, if not the best organizations I've ever been associated with. So again, modesty prevails, and that's a good thing, but I just want to make sure people understand how extraordinary these people are. So the other thing I want to mention is we're welcoming a couple of new people to our NCGA board, and Bruce Charlton is here somewhere to our Poppy Holdings board. And these people are poised to make, Craig Oliver, Mike Woods, and Bruce over here, poised to make tremendous contributions to our overall group of organizations, and I couldn't be happier to think that I'll have the chance to work with them during the year. So welcome to the three of you. So this is a significant honor for me, which I greatly appreciate, but candidly it's, I feel much more a sense of responsibility looking out there and listening to the introductions of the players, the people who are like Ryan and Carl, who run the tournament operations, and Joe, who runs the overall organization. looking around, the past president, looking around to see how much of a contribution these leaders have made to the organization that we all enjoy and have enjoyed. Well, it's been around for 122 years, so we haven't all been here that long, but it's pretty amazing. I don't want to take a lot of time. I hate to be the last man standing between this group and the first tee, so I don't want to take a long time this morning. But I wanted to welcome a couple of special people, my wife, Marta, and my son, Alex. My friends from Northridge Country Club, Stan LaFrac and Vincent Wong, Dr. Vincent Wong back there. Thank you so much for coming up today. And I wanted to express a few thank yous as well. There are a couple dozen people in the room whose names I could easily mention, but I'd be afraid there'd be 2 or 3 more that I would forget. So I'm just going to stick with 3 to mention today. First of all, Marta, I want to thank. She and I have recently celebrated our 46th wedding anniversary, and I think that probably suggests that we're doing something right. And one of the things I think we do right is support one another. She's not a golfer, she's a musician, and amateur chef de cuisine, I think it's fair to say. But she nonetheless supports and for all our years supported my enjoyment of the game of golf and the travel that's entailed, and most recently in the last few years the travel and the time devoted to the NCGA. She supported that without complaint, at least not too much, and often comes down for these events with me, so I appreciate that very much, Marta. Next, Joe Houston. I think everybody here knows what a great job Joe has been doing as our CEO, but I want to thank him for the generous amount of time that he spent helping me to get up to speed on board and other responsibilities, especially during this past year. I'm catching up in many ways with people like David and Gary Fox, who've gone before and have deep understanding of the golf world that I am trying to catch up on, I guess I'd say. And Joe's been just wonderful in that sense. And I'm waiting for the hook from David here, because I did spend some time last night at the dinner thanking and congratulating him for his extraordinary performance as president. But I hope I can get away with it one more time and say that he's been a virtually perfect role model for me and for the other directors in his service, selfless service, no exaggeration, to the organization. His leadership of the board, and everything that he does both in public and in our board meetings and behind the scenes. I used the analogy yesterday of an iceberg. We all get to see a lot of what David does in the meetings and in the events like this and in the tournaments and so forth, but there's the 75 or 80% of the iceberg that's below the surface, that some of which I've been privileged to see working with him closely this year, but many do not see that, and we really owe him a tremendous debt of gratitude for his work. So to say that I'm filling big shoes is an understatement. To say that I'm challenged to match up to the amazing talent of Joe and the rest of his staff, and Steve and the Poppy Hill staff, and Adam and the Youth on Course staff, again, is another understatement. But I'll do my best. And as Carl, I asked Carl last night whether he remembered we were classmates at the U.S. Air Force Academy, graduating 51 years ago now, I guess. whether he remembered what rule number 1 was, and he promptly said, yes, don't screw up. So I'm going to try to keep that in mind and do what I can. So a couple more minutes on the priorities for 2024. As those who've been close to the organization know, the board is charged with trying to set some policy goals, approve things like strategic plans and budgets, hire and oversee a CEO, which we have one of the best going there. We're not there to operate the organization, but we do have some things that we're going to be, I hope we're going to be paying close attention to this year. Number 1, and it should be no surprise, and that is stay the course. We have under David and before him Gary and numerous presidents. I see Mike Weeks, who was here, and Gail's here, who were presidents when I was on the board. You know, the organization is in great shape. So we want to stay the course. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, whatever cliche you want to pick. That's goal number 1 for the year. While doing that, we don't want to be complacent. We want to continue to implement the strategic plan and enhance member benefits and services wherever we have the opportunity to do that. These are our goals for the year. One of the things that I have observed in my years on the board is and Mike Sweeney alluded to it earlier, is the amazing depth of expertise we have in the departments here, golf governance, Poppy Holdings, course maintenance. We want to be able to, during this year and following years, and David started us off with a strong bent in that direction, is to take advantage of that expertise in those long lessons learned over many years by our staff people to benefit our member clubs and to some degree our individual members. So I think that's one of our priorities, is to keep our eye on that ball. We want to, we have one other initiative that I have in mind and appointed board members to committees accordingly, and that is to try to pay attention to strategic risks. An organization that's doing really well, as we are and have been for years, still needs to be aware of the fact that things may not always continue on exactly the course you hope. And so we put together a committee for this year that includes Bill Carl, Tyler Tharp, and Mike Braun. This renamed the Strategic Risk and Legal Committee. Mike Braun is not a lawyer. Bill Carl and Tyler's a judge. Bill Carl's a retired lawyer. So I think their expertise, and Mike's a longtime business executive with lots of success in his background, that group, I'm hoping, will be forward-looking, proactive, and looking out for opportunities to identify and avoid risks that the organization needs to be aware of. So that's one initiative for this year that's a little bit different. The other, I guess, if that was objective number 1, the other objective, number 1A, is what Joe alluded to earlier. That is the Poppy Ridge project. So the board's not implementing that. The board has made its decision to go forward with that project. It's in the hands of the wonderful Poppy Holdings board and Steve and his group, Brett Armstrong. I don't know if Brett's here. But I wanted to say, Kevin Payton encouraged me to follow David's example in trying to not forget that we have our own personal backgrounds that we bring to the board and to the organization. So one of the things I wanted to mention is even though I don't have the kind of golf depths that David has, I've spent a lot of years working on large, long-term projects in my legal career, and I've been so pleased to watch this large project being put together by the Poppy Holdings board over the last couple of years. One of the things I would say from my experience with past projects is that it's absolutely critical to have a strong team in place. You're going to make mistakes, you can make a lot of mistakes, including serious mistakes, but if you don't have a good team in place to start with, it's unlikely, if not impossible, that you're going to get to the goal you're aiming for. And in this case, it's been quite amazing to see how well the team has come together. And I want to assure the members of the NCGA, our club representatives, and our individual members, as well as the stakeholders and the boards here, that the investment, while it's very large and the amount of effort it's going to take is great, that the team that's been put in place to handle that is extremely good, and that should be a comfort to everybody in this room. We're looking forward to implementing those decisions. So, wish me luck. I'm going to need it, and thank you all for being here. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but probably. Yeah, thank you. So now the last formality is to adjourn the annual meeting. I don't know whether I need a motion, but it wouldn't be bad. Move to adjourn. Move to adjourn. Second? All in favor? Aye. And now Ryan Gregg is up to provide us some information on the golf.
All right, so we have some extra time, so I figured it'd probably be a good time to kind of hammer Mike Sweeney with some questions about the ball rollback, right? But anyway, it's pretty simple today. It looks like the rain is going to miss us. I'm not promising anything, but things look like they're clearing up a little bit, and part of the storm broke up and is heading south, and the other is staying north, so hopefully we'll get some golf in. So those that said maybe, I'll put you down as your plan. The carts are all set up with cart signs on them, find your name. I do have an alpha list if you forgot where I told you which hole you're going to start on. So you can check out the pairings over there before you head on out. Grab yourself a box lunch as you head out to your golf cart. And we'll get started at 11:30. We do have some time, so get warmed up. There'll be range balls up on the range. And practice putting and get ready to go. By hopefully 11:15 you'll be in your cart and we'll head out to the holes. But once again, thank you for coming, and good luck to everybody.